This guy, we watched a few of his videos on our channel. He makes banger MMO videos, not gonna lie. Guild Wars 3 actually revealed everything we know. Low-key, bro needs to sleep,
Guild Wars 3
though.
has been officially announced, and I'm going to give you all the
Bro needs to sleep, low-key.
information that we have right now and that you need to know. Now, I'm just going to be playing the trailer, but I'm going to edit out the boring just text bits. It's worth noting that this was in-engine, but doesn't necessarily mean in-game, okay?
And for that,
information, I'll probably just let it repeat until I've got stuff to show you. First things first, this is going to be an action combat MMO. That's mentioned several times.
I love action combat.
You don't really see that in the game, but they talk about it in a few different places, like the press release and when Colin Johansson was on the stage, okay? It is now officially confirmed to be 1,000 years in the past, which I think probably sets it just before
never would have guessed
Guild Wars. Not the Guild Wars game, but the actual Guild Wars that the Guild Wars is named after. That'll make sense to anybody who knows what I'm talking about. Now, in this footage, it kind of looks like there's various different playable races just by the way that they're stood and positioned. It
looks like a human, like a bear race.
Human. Then it does look like we're going to have Codons. And then one that's sort of confusing a bit at the moment is it looks like there's kind of like a hairy Azora, which I'm calling Monkey Boys at the minute. Now, this could be the actual Azora before they go underground, or it could potentially be a slightly different race. There's also an additional human who's there, which could imply Norn or something else.
I feel that.
Jumping back a little bit to the combat.
I think I was in Norn in Guild Wars 2.
They do talk about it on.
I was like the big tall boys.
The showcase itself, and they talk about how the movement is going to be very important. So we do actually see them running up a rock. There's going to be running, sliding, gliding, and effectively your movement is going to impact the combat, which I kind of take to mean like if you're running fast at somebody and you're doing ability, it will potentially do more damage, which is, you know, very interesting and exciting part.
That is pretty
let's
interesting.
Cut to the chase. When are you going to be able to play this? Well,
next year,
at
beta.
The end of the trailer, they do say the first beta is going to be in fall, which is autumn for you Brits or people who don't know the American seasons, 2027, which kind of implies a 2028 release date, because they also mentioned that there might be like multiple betas. Could obviously
I hope I'm still creating content in fall 2027, guys. I hope so.
2028 right now, okay?
This is great. I would love to play this shit on stream.
Steam and PlayStation 5. Now, you might be wondering why I separate PC and Steam. You're going to be able to do it like you can with Guild Wars 2. Buy it from the website or buy it on
I'll probably do it on Steam. I'm not gonna lie.
PlayStation 5, which is new because that's obviously going to console.
Look at me and Brits who don't know the American seasons. Yeah, like
obviously
some people like say no, but like they call it like autumn instead of fall, you know? Like we call it fall.
That is going
to be they call it autumn, bro.
I'm not going to try and get deep into the lore of Guild Wars simply because I'm not really experienced with Guild Wars. I can't really do that. But it's a very potentially interesting timeline, because Abaddon is talked about a little bit and he appears to be on some of the embroidery that you see in the footage. It's pretty interesting, okay? Now, there's one little thing that I think is getting people a little bit agitated. Some people don't like the fact it's going to be on console, by the way, because controller, etc. They do say the combat will feel good on mouse and keyboard and on controller.
People are complaining that it's on controller?
They do
on console?
Play solo or form a band of adventurers. Now, me personally, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I get a little bit of like Arcade Chronicles vibes from this, because in other places they talk about how it's they're going to revolutionize.
Who's mad at that, by the way? What? Why would you be mad at that?
The MMO genre, and you're going to be able to play solo, which I'm getting the vibe that it's not necessarily going to be like thousands and thousands of players. It's going to be sort of like a more smaller scale kind of game. Now, that may or may not be true. We don't fully know. They do say that we're going to get information in the coming weeks, including a look at the timeline and the setting of Guild Wars 3, or the Six Gods, and the city, the capital city of Ara. If I slur my words, do forgive me. I like streamed 13 hours, watched the showcase, and I'm making this video, and I'm very, very tired.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Importantly,
remember in the beginning how I said he looks like he needs sleep? Yeah, it looks like he did. He did
more
need sleep.
Information about this. The next thing that's
13-hour stream, W grinder though, man.
Wars 2 as well, is that there's going to be a live stream tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. In that, they're going to have Colin Johansson, who is the lead of Guild Wars 3, the game director
did not watch that.
Guild Wars 2, and
I did not even
Guild
see
Wars
that.
Reforged director. So I think that's going to be like, hey, we're
right you were,
all of these games, and in fact they say here, and we're committing actively developing all three of these games at the same time. They're trying to tell you to simmer down. If you really like Guild Wars 2, they're going to try and make content for Guild Wars 2, so don't stress too much. But tomorrow's where we'll start seeing some more information. Then I think there's a live stream on Tuesday as well, actually. By the way, there is an in-game event for Summer Game Fest, and at the minute, Guild Wars 2 is very much on sale on Steam. A couple of
should I go back to Guild Wars 2, man?
Art, but this is Balthazar. I think he's the God of War, my chat told me.
Gosh,
there's other different concept art.
Crazy.
This obviously is very similar to what we'd seen before, but the style is sort of a little bit more cartoony, I guess.
I fuck with it.
At the end of the day, this basically is the concept art that the content creators received. Obviously, this is the mode that's like your spirit animal, and then you have what I think is the races that could imply that there's actually only 3 races: the Kodan, the Burr, and the Azura-esque creatures. The fact that this one looks like this
on sale. I bought like the first 2 or 3, and I didn't really play them. I got the mounts.
Like I think that's most of the
flying mount. I think I have all the mounts besides the flying one.
The trailer, I was like, "Is this New World?" Like it really reminded me of Rise of the Angry Earth a little bit, right? And the whole Or region sort of does. I do actually like
New World,
the style.
man.
It's sort of Unreal Engine 5, but with like a crisp sort of. It's not the default UE5. I'm not going to say anything like that, but it's very crisp, if that makes sense. Everything looks very clean, which I like, and it's not quite as painterly as Guild Wars 2. But I personally like the style of the game right now. I think console was inevitable. If they're going to go more action combat, then maybe that's for console. Some people are not going to be happy because if it's on like control, it kind of implies that maybe there'll be a lock on, similar to what New World is like, or was like, considering it's going to die. As I said, I'm getting Arcade Chronicles, Chrono Odyssey sort of vibes from it. I think it might end up being better than those games. We'll see, right? It might be, it might not be. But I'm getting that kind of like vibe.
I don't care. I love action combat, bro. Cry more.
It might be action combat, full action combat, and because of that, it might not be like mass PvP or PvE battles. It might be a little bit more downscaled in that regard. Don't know that, right? That's
wrong. I don't agree with that.
The races are interesting. Maybe it is actually those 3. I said none, but I mean, maybe the fact there's only the 3 together over there kind of implies it's just them. The law's kind of interesting. The thing that you're riding across or in is your Seeker, which is a Veil spirit that will serve as your mount and your direct connection to the magic of Awe. As for the guild wars themselves, well, they do say all across Awe, rival guilds jockey for influence and control.
Chicken I'm not jockey?
Sure if you're in those guilds, because it actually says amid this conflict, you will join the Veil Wardens, which are a guild to protect the land, the people.
So we're forced to join
beyond the
Veil Wardens,
towns and cities of Awe, and
according to the story,
spirits who call Awe home. So you're not necessarily in the guild wars. You're a figure. Well, I guess you're in a guild, but you're not in a guild necessarily going against other players, because the other players aren't in those guilds, if that makes sense. So you're all going to be in the same guild, I think. The Veil Wardens. But there will be conflict.
I'm guessing like we're we're like in a guild. Like just say like we're like in the alliance, and like all the fucking NPC, PvE like ads, they're all like the different guilds, you know?
But that's conflict with NPCs. So we don't really know what's going to happen with like the gameplay, the PvP and the PvE and stuff like that yet. But all the while, it's very interesting. I will continue to cover this game, but I'll cover it based on like what we know about the game and the information we're delivered. I'm probably not going to speculate at this point because I haven't really played Guild Wars 2 enough. I played the base game. And I probably will now make a guild and we'll probably all play it together. If that's something you want to do, make sure you join my Discord, link in the description. But yeah, that's it, right? Interesting looking game. Yeah, very interesting. It's big news, right? Guild Wars 3 is big, sizable news. And I'm delighted to see it. A little bit disappointed in the timeline of it. I would say, like, whilst it looks like amazing and everything, I'm not blown away. I'm not like, oh my God, it was a 10 out of 10. Maybe once we start seeing...
I mean, yeah, I was about to say, bro, they haven't even shown anything. How is anyone going to be blown away at this point? They literally just like fucking announced like, yo, by the way, we're working on this. It's real. That's all like the point of the announcement was. They didn't show any gameplay. They didn't like really show anything to like sink your teeth into, because like no one should be wowed right now.
Gameplay and stuff like that.
The only wow factor is like, oh my God, it's Guild Wars 3. Like that's it.
Will change. But I am still happy to have Guild Wars 3. I think this is going to be a very competently made game by a very big studio. So, you know, let's keep definitely not just want to keep an eye on. I'm like, we're going to cover this game a lot, basically. If you want to talk to me about this, I'm going to, as soon as I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to start streaming.
W. By the way, this video, huge Guild Wars 3 info. When was this?
We have got some major...
3 hours ago. Okay, let's watch this one too then, bro. Huge Guild Wars 3 info, no sub fee, battle pass, and more. Okay, no subscription. I'm guessing it's gonna be like a buy to play type of game then.
We have got some major news when it comes to Guild Wars.
Yeah, exactly,
I'm talking
Linz.
monetization, progression, and much more. What's actually happened recently is there was an interview with Colin Johansson from IGN, and he gave us some very important details, and I'm going to explain to you what they are right now. Let's talk brass tacks first. It very much sounds like it's going to be a buy-to-play MMO, and there will likely be expansions, because he was talking about how you can come back when we have stuff for you to buy, basically. Along with that, you can expect no sub fee and indeed actually no battle passes. Colin said, and I basically agree, that effectively battle passes are like kind of disguised sub fees, and basically gamers are tired of that, so they're not going to do that. So buy to play very likely, no sub fee, no battle pass. It sounds very, very similar to what Guild Wars 2 will be, a buy to play game with buying expansions, okay? Kind of curious what the store will be like in terms of buying the in-game currency and stuff like that, but no details of that were given in this interview. Along with that, they were speaking about the desire to be casual friendly. How for a lot of MMOs, you might hear about an MMO, but you're like, I can't play that because I have no time. I have
Black Kids are online. Black Kids are online. Bro, BDO, if you do not grind or spend $1 million, it'll take you 1,000 hours to catch up.
Like that. So obviously very casual friendly. And I don't think he overtly stated horizontal progression was confirmed for Guild Wars 3, but he did mention how they have horizontal progression, and it kind of was confirmed, if that makes sense. That's actually the case with some of the information that I'm giving you here.
By the way, in case you don't know, this is Guild Wars 2 in the background on Guild Wars 3, just saying.
Just saying. The answers aren't necessarily like directly clear. It's not like he said, and he sat there being like, Guild Wars 3 has vertical progression. But, you know, you can kind of tell that's what they're trying to say, if that makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if that's to do with the skill collecting that is mentioned in the Steam page, potentially very similar to Guild Wars. I know. But maybe that's what I was saying, when they do have an expansion, it'll be, here are some new skills for you to go and collect, which, to be honest, sounds pretty cool. I myself am a bit of a vertical progression Andy. I'm a bit like a monkey brain. I just sort of like number go up, and it gives me something to chase. But I'm like that too, bro. You can often end up with a treadmill that you just feel like you're always on a treadmill. And it's, but I like it though. I like that. That's the, yeah, I like the grind. It's not a big deal breaker for me or anything like that. But bro, I like going to like a dungeon or like a raid, and there's like a rare drop, and you get the drop, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, and like the stats are all way better than the gear you have. I like that shit. It's worth knowing. Now, something that wasn't overtly stated, but I think sounded likely, as I said, the presenter had these things on his cards, and he was asking him questions. It sounded like he had information. Because one of them is like, you're going into open beta in fall 2027. Tell us more about that. And then Colin doesn't say, oh, it's not open beta, it's closed. So I would also suggest that it's probably open beta as well. And indeed, on their websites, they actually say sign up for the newsletter and to hear about the betas, a plural. So it sounds like there's going to be more than one. A little bit more information with regards to the setting. Now, we know obviously it's, I think they said around about 1,000 years before Guild Wars, but actually in this one, he seems to say about 1,200 years before the works of Guild Wars. And that kind of makes sense because it actually, they said it's just before the Guild Wars, but it also seems to be before all of the gods of the god Exodus, basically, because he said, I think it's shortly after one of the gods has been deposed. I can't remember the name of the story that happened with all the gods. So it seems to be in that sort of time frame. I feel that. And we don't have the exact year yet, I guess. If you're a lore nerd, I'm sure that's all very interesting to you. For me, somebody who's like just learning about this now, it's cool, but I feel so inadequate because I just don't know what it means. I feel the exact same way, bro. Like I played the game to like max level, but I didn't like learn the lore, and I didn't really do much, to be honest. But it's cool, like you said. I agree. You know what I mean? Hydrate. But it's still very interesting nonetheless. They also showed I'll say a new piece of artwork, but the artwork is technically on their website. It doesn't really reveal anything. It's just a character with a bow and maybe a magic person in the background. They speak a lot about the several core pillars. One of them being the joy of movement. My dirty mind thinks about the Kama Sutra, but I'll not talk about that. The joy of about what? But yeah, it sounds like obviously movement is going to be a key factor. In the trailer, we see them running up the rocks, but it sounds like there's going to be like momentum in the combat. Guild Wars 2 has great movement, especially with the flying mounts and stuff like that. I'm led to believe people seem to rave about like that. Like a lightning infused sword back there? This will make sense. That will be intertwined with the combat, which they don't necessarily talk about. But yeah, people always praise Guild Wars 2 for like having like the best mount system in any MMO. I'm really not sure what's never before done in the MMO genre, so I never did the grind for the flying mount though, bro. Maybe I'll hop back on it. Happy with that. And maybe the thing that's never been done is the more sort of single. I'm really enjoying Final Fantasy 14 right now. Action combat. I'd say New World was pretty good, but if they can do something even better, Yeah, great.
I love New
I'm
World.
on that. They do
That's why I'm
mention that from
hoping
the get-go,
to.
keyboard and
Chrono
mouse and
Odyssey is
controller
good.
were integral to the design of the combat. There's people like me, I kind of worry about it being controller because New World had lock-on and that was kind of controversial. So I'm very intrigued at what ArenaNet are cooking up with it.
Little time I played, I only got it for a limited time, so I got you.
The news here makes me think that, you know, that tapestry, I really think the tapestry in the trailer is kind of telling us what is in the game a little bit. Maybe the gods are actually still there. Maybe it's before the Exodus. We've seen some artwork of, is it Balthazar? Can't remember the name exactly. We also see a floating city, which people are thinking might be Ara, even though I'm not sure there's any evidence in the past that Ara was a floating city. You potentially see a hint of what kind of roles you can have, because there's like a warrior person, a rangy boy, and a mage.
There's a God of War.
Is like you see
drawings.
4 figures in the bottom right. There's kind of like 4 people in the trailer as well. The person who's riding the mount, and then the 3 other characters. Is there 3 races or are there 4? Definitely, I think humans, the monkey Asara, and then the Kodans, right? I think like they're like obvious. I sort of wonder if there's 2 humanoid races because there's a party of 4. Is it a different type of human race?
It's like the monkey guy he's talking about, like the normal humans, and this is like the other one. So I'm guessing this is like the random one we don't know.
Is it something else altogether? Or is it actually there are 3 races, but the party size will be 4?
Maybe this is what we're talking about too, the floating city, like the fucking gods.
That's interesting.
A mage.
Let me know your thoughts in the comments on that one. Nobody asked, but I'm going to talk about it here. For me personally, I think now I'm probably going to concentrate on 3 major games. On stream, I'm going to be playing Guild Wars 2. You can come ahead and check me out on that one. Link in the description if you want to watch that. Also, probably going to have a guild if you want to join that. If you're a new player.
Big furry L spawner furry. I love furries.
And we'll probably do Guild Wars 2 until one of the next games comes out. So either Guild Wars 3, Chrono Odyssey, or Arcade Chronicles.
Hey,
timeline-wise,
those are the ones I'm waiting for too. But we also got Ion 2 this year, so I'm probably gonna try out Ion 2.
Sure, what will happen with that? Like, will Chrono get in before that, or Arcade Chronicles get in before that? Arcade Chronicles supposed to be having a beta soon. Chrono, obviously, all silent there. Well, not silent, but silent in terms of release date. What I'm very like.
Listen. Crazy pause frame. My bad. But Chrono Odyssey releases next year. So I'm assuming we need to get a beta, some type of beta this year, or some type of like playtest, something, you know? So that they can get more feedback for release, you know? Like surely it's been already more than a year since the last beta, or like around a year at this point. Surely we get a new beta before the 2027 release this year, right?
We're not doing is going to be playing Ion 2 or anything like that. I'm going to focus down on the games that I think are going to be, you know, quality experiences. That's kind of laughable, I guess, to some of you, because you know, Chrono obviously had a long way to go. But the games that
I believe in Chrono.
At least action combat. Still look at the MMO.
Yeah, action combat.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably.
This guy's the GOAT, bro.
Like
Shout out to Jay.
Those action combat games. On a personal level, I will be playing Classic Plus as well, but probably not making content here on Twitch that much for that one. Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Classic Plus. Yeah, I see everyone talking about that.
Content, because, like, obviously, not being a proper like Guild Wars 2 Andy. There's so much that I don't know, and I obviously don't have a Guild Wars audience. But I think, yeah, it's going to be fun to get into it, and I'm looking forward.
I mean, if you make MMO videos like this guy does, W video, by the way, I liked it. If you make MMO videos like this guy, I'm sure a lot of your viewers are MMO enjoyers. And if you're an MMO enjoyer, you've heard of Guild Wars too, you know?